Hi Virgo, happy new moon in your sign at 21 degrees. If you feel as though your life is falling apart and relationships are just ending, or everything about your everyday life has been transformed in the past 6 to 12 months, don't worry, you're right on time. Welcome to the awakening. I am Sarah. I am a healer. I am a consciousness from a different time and space that came down to play human during the time of the awakening, and I am here to help you with your business, with your life, with your team. I am a corporate survivor. I've been working within training teams and guiding people and leading people for over a decade now, and since my awakening, I'm just here to help you figure all this out and make sense of all the woo-woo. So just know that you're right on time, and it's intense as fuck out there. It's intense as fuck, but you are very needed. We've been talking about that for a few months now. And anyone who is new to my channel, I feel like a few of you are going to see this, and I would love to just recommend going back and watching some of the other Virgo videos from earlier this year. I feel like March, April for a lot of you was pretty intense, and then we kind of just split over the summer or winter depending on what time zone you're in into all these different timelines, and now you're just kind of coming back a little bit more refreshed, and within this I know it just feels like my whole life is on fucking fire, or it's different, or it's gross, but what's an ego death, and what is all this astrology? What is going on, Sarah? Please help me make sense of all of this. So let's take a look. Right now, this new moon is happening at 21 degrees of Virgo in your house of self. And for some of you, the grid is for Virgo rising, but this can always be watched by Virgo sun and Virgo moon. So if this is for Virgo sun, happy birthday to you. For Virgo rising, when the sun went into the sign of Virgo, and this is a very general wheel, please reach out directly. My email address is always listed below for a personalized birth chart reading. This is by degree, but when the sun goes into your ascendant sign, it's kind of like your second birthday. We get 2 birthdays, and if you're Italian, you get 3 for your saint day. But so we have a lot of retrograde planets in our side of the chart that is about relationships. This is the roots of the tree of your life down here. Public life, self, the rising, and then relationships, the descendant sign. So we've Pluto retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Chiron retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Uranus retrograde, and we have Mercury retrograde in your house as well of self. So some of you might have just gotten a pimple or two. That's odd. I've never even talked about that before. I feel like Mercury retrograde just affected maybe you got some pimples or blemishes in the past month or so, and that will start to clear up. Mercury is going to go direct the day after this new moon, so tomorrow or depending on when you're watching this, it happens on the 15th of September. But if you don't want to deep dive into the woo-woo of things, you're planting seeds and manifesting, the healthier, new, evolved version of you. You're not what anyone needs of you. You are not what anyone thinks of you. You are not in any way anything other than a consciousness that's running this meat suit, this avatar. And you are just bumbling around. You're no better or no worse than anybody else on this planet, Virgo. And I'm not saying this to you to smash down your ego. I'm trying to take some pressure off. The story that's popping into my head, the first time that I traveled and I was in Southeast Asia, we're leaving a lot of old shit behind. Don't get scared by this card. I'll explain it. I want to tell the story first. So, it's the world, darling. It's all okay. So the first time that I was in Southeast Asia, I'm going to leave it. And I was, with my partner at the time, and, we're in Thailand. We stopped in Koh Chang. We were in Bangkok for a little while. And we were, oh my God, I think it was still in Bangkok. And we were taking the water taxi. There's people screaming at each other. I hadn't seen a white person or heard the English language spoken by an outsider in days. And it was this moment of anxiety was all gone. I was nobody knows you here, Sarah. Nobody knows you anywhere near here. The closest people that know you are in Melbourne, Australia. Nobody knows you here. You could fall flat on your face and nobody fucking cares. You got yourself here, so people are respecting you and oh, little white chick, you made it all the way over here, so you better figure your shit out. But there was no pressure. Anxiety was removed. Didn't matter what I said or I did, because who fucking cares? There's billions of people on the planet, and I will die one day, so it doesn't matter. So this card here, the Five of Pentacles, sometimes it can be, about hard times. It can be about like financial loss, recovery of some kind. But for you right now, Virgo, I feel like this is you and versions of you that are actually the most authentic. And you're walking past the old institutions, the old construct, the old corporations and systems that really don't serve you anymore. See how it's a perceived church? Hey. But there's no fucking doors. They're not letting you in. They don't want you there. So move along. They're persevering. Those people are persevering. They're going on. They're keeping on. So for you right now, the summer or the winter with Venus retrograde in your 12th house of soul purpose, healing, closures, and coming home, I feel like a lot of you either consciously or completely unconsciously have reassessed your purpose. Not your why statement, but like why your soul came to this planet. Because relationships that want to succubus off of you, no ma'am. Jobs that don't value you, no ma'am. Pluto will be in Aquarius for 20 years. This little guy, he's going to go into your 6th house, which is a Virgo run house, which you have run by Aquarius. Everyday life, practical service, Virgo. That's going to be there for 20 years. So your daily life is going to transform. So look at the people, look at who you are, what you value, and the people in your life right now. Do you feel like, how do I say? For a while, I would have to preface what I was about to say to certain people in my life. To say, this might sound a little crazy, or I'm just stepping into channeling, or, I was talking to my grandmother. She's been dead for a while. I know. And or say it's cuckoo pants or whatever it may be. If you still have to knock on the door and say, I know that this is going to sound a little bit weird. Can I come in? I got to tell you about something. Know that they're talking shit about you behind that door. Prove me wrong. Oh, Virgo's different now. Virgo's weird. Virgo's this. Virgo's that. Oh my God, Virgo's here. I can't believe, are they listening to us? Yeah, come on in, honey. Tell us about your woo-woo. Tell us about what's going on. They're mocking you. So just don't. If you have to knock on the door, then why are you knocking on the door? If you don't have a key to the back door, then why are you even spending time with those people? No. If you know, you know. So this new moon in your sign, vet. Should I go with the fame parable? It's not fame. I want you to think of like the most inspiring entrepreneur, business owner, like someone within your field that you idealize that like did it, that they are successful. You would trade shoes with them in a second. You're like, I look up to that person. Who is that person? How do they act? What do they do? And like, do you think that they would ever preface themselves? I want you to let your words be, your 3rd house is run by Scorpio, honey. The South Node already transited your sign. You've already gone through this very interesting removal of like nasty, toxic communicative patterns. Because we're going into a telepathic world, so it's like, if you are talking to someone because you think that you're better than them and you're smarter than them, that grossness will show through as more pimples on your face. Like, walk away. You're not smarter than anybody. Every single person on this planet knows something that you do not. We're all equal. We're all human beings. I know I'm a consciousness from a different time and space, but I am no guru. I sit on the toilet and I go poop the same way that you do. I'm no better than you. No better. No worse. No better. So who is actively, equally in their own arena? Those are the people you want side by side with. The person that you idealize in your field. You won't be side by side with that motherfucker. And you're worthy of that. But do you value yourself enough to know that you could be at that top spot? I'm going to say it. There are certain times that I don't like the download that I'm getting, or it's not that I don't like it, but I just like to be everything's great and wonderful. So I'm just going to shoot you between the eyes with this one. It's possible, based on the astrology, that there's a loss of personal financial capital right here. South Node in Libra, in your house of money, values, and access to resources. I highlight that because the North Node is in your house of shared possessions, deep transformation, death and rebirth, taxes, wills, contracts. Chiron's retrograde in this house. Mars is in this house over here. So Mars is trying to bless you when Mars is conjunct South Node, and I did a whole video on that. So if you're interested in that specific astrological conundrum and combination over here, please go watch the South Node and Mars in Libra video. And just be cognizant. This is where the, welcome to the awakening, welcome to community, welcome to trust and friendship, because dramatize this. You lost, your immediate financial capital, you lost your job. You're still the same person. You're still the same person with the same values and the same worthiness. But do the people around you, are they ready to help you in the same way that you've constantly helped them? Are they ready to bless you and say, hey, here's a month's of your, I know that this is your budget, so here's a month's worth of finances. Pay it forward, pay me when you can. Totally okay. I just want you to know that you're safe. This is the type of astrology. This is why I want you to be aware of that. Because welcome to the awakening. If you're pretending, that's why when I was like, oh, you're talking to someone that you think you're so much smarter than, what about when you're down and out? Are they going to help you? No, because they've been mocking you the whole fucking time. Don't think that you're too smart. And don't think that when you have all of your things, it's almost like you know how much you shine and you're comfy with that. But what if you had nothing? What if you had nothing, Virgo? Who's going to be there with you? So be cognizant of who's in the trenches with you. Because if you're, in essence, lying to the person in front of you, thinking that you're smarter with them, they have an equal and opposite lie that they're telling you. Do you want to be in a foxhole with a liar? I don't. Do you want to be in a foxhole with someone who's going to throw you under the bus in a second? I don't. But your verbal communication and the way that you tell God, this is who I am. This is what I value. This is why I'm on this planet and I'm ready for the tasks that you're giving me. Hey, don't play small. Do not play small, Virgo. This is bigger than you, and I believe in you, and you're needed for the awakening, but you are not smarter or better than anyone else in human bodies. That's part of the prophecy, is that we all have to learn how to either play together or cite irreconcilable differences and live and let live over there. We're all worthy and we're all equal, and we all have to do this together. So please, chicka to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Chicka to check yourself before you wreck yourself. We'll get into the full moon in a few weeks. Ciao, darling.